So, and let me go. All right, so we're recording right now. Let's see, Facebook. All right, we are live on Facebook. 1 second, let me do what I gotta do.
All
One
right.
second. All right, you guys, tune in, tune in. Y'all want to know about home ownership and the NACA program? I got the person that could tell you all about it and get it done. All right, let me edit my audience. All right, Republic. So you know what you could do? You could go to my page and share it to your page.
Okay.
All right, you guys, tune in, tune in. Yeah, we're a little bit late. Oh, 7:25. I told y'all tune in at 7. Oh, well, I know y'all still gonna tune in. You guys are probably eating, y'all was probably eating dinner and stuff anyhow. So, man. All right, right. I got Kelan Johnson. All right, you guys, tune in, tune in. Yeah. Oh, I hear me talking. I hear me talking. Oh, let me get to mine. Sidekick. Let me turn my volume down.
I just shared it. I just shared it.
Okay, cool. All right, we got Kelan Johnson in the building. All right. Well, actually, he's at home and I'm at home, but we still in the building. All right. 2 bomb real estate agents. Okay. Let me tell you guys, I just want to give you guys a little history real quick. I forgot the name of that festival, but I think it's coming up again. But it was off of Broadway. I went to an event. It was on Broadway. They had blocked off a lot of streets. It was a really nice event. And I saw this dude with the camera and stuff. And you guys know, girl used to, have the music video show. Whenever I see somebody with the camera and everything, I always, ask, what do they do and stuff. So long story short, it was actually a mortgage loan officer, which you guys know him, Daniel. I had him and his wife on my show before, but there was a real estate agent. Actually, I thought he was an artist. I thought he was an artist, but Daniel introduced me to Kelan, who was actually a real estate agent and stuff. And they was out there doing like promo shoots, and stuff like that. So that's how I met him. Like, can you believe that's been a year? It's been almost a year, huh?
I don't know if it's I think it was last year for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's coming up pretty close. I think they're putting it on again and stuff.
Yeah, they're putting it on.
So yeah, so we clicked, became Facebook friends, and he's like my little brother, I can't say he's my brother because he's too young. He's my son, my son gonna be 30. So about my son's age. So Kelan, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for taking time out to do this. Um, I just like to give like a little history and stuff. I always ask people, you know, what was Kelan like from kindergarten to 6th grade?
Well, first of all, thank
They
you for
always laugh, y'all. They always laugh.
thank you for having me on here. I appreciate you greatly. And for me, I was kind of just like the black sheep. I was into what I was into. I was out always playing basketball, always just having fun, playing games, hanging out with friends, just a normal kid. But I was always very um, unique in my endeavors and things that I was interested in. So I, I I always took a different path than like my family or my friends, which I feel led me to real estate, led me to entrepreneurship, just trying to do things outside of the box. I was a rebel. Anything that was in the box, I wanted to be out of it. So that got me to where I am now. So
Wow. Now, what about high school? Did you continue to play like basketball in like junior high and high school?
rebel. I did no
Rebel.
sports. I did not want to be a part of any associations, labels, nothing.
Don't he look like a basketball player, y'all?
I still will hook people up. I still will ball you up and cross you over, no problem. You can ask. But I did not play organized basketball. But I
Okay,
played with people who had played organized basketball like a whole. So
gotcha. Did you grow up in Sacramento?
I did. I did part-time in Richmond, California too.
Okay, good old
Yeah,
Richmond.
yeah,
Yeah,
Richmond.
yeah. Okay, cool. Now, how did you, wait a minute, what was your first job? Let me ask you that.
My first job was Home Depot. I was a lot attendant, pushing carts for and running to the cash registers, carrying cement to cars,
Which
all
Home
of that.
Depot? In the South or the North?
Meadowview,
Okay. Oh, the one
yep,
off the Meadowview.
yep,
Okay.
Southside Meadowview. That was my first job.
Uh-huh. Wow. And then what was your second one?
My second job, I do not know. I was
Okay.
bouncing around after that, until I became an electrician.
Oh, you
Which,
electrician.
I
Y'all
had my
hear that? Sometimes y'all be hitting me up one electrician. We got one right here.
I was an electrician, I had my electrician certification.
Uh-huh.
I'm definitely rusty now because I haven't been using
Oh,
it
okay, maybe
for
not
some
y'all.
time. But from there, I ended up stopping because my job was just killing me, the hours and everything, and I
Mhm.
would fall asleep in mid conversations during the day sometimes, and I was just thinking to myself, let me see if there's something different. So I went on Craigslist, saw a job for solar that was paying 100,000 a year, and
Mm.
to me back then, I said, "This is fake, but I'm gonna try it still."
Yeah.
I tried it. They called me back for an interview. I had to take my interview on lunch. I went to a porta potty, set out to go to the bathroom, did my interview in there on the phone, and then I got scheduled for an interview in person, and he broke it down, pay scale, commission. I never did anything commission, so that was the first exposure to me.
Uh-huh.
And my first week there with the trainer, I closed one deal. In my second week, I closed 7 deals in one week, four in one day by myself, and I was a top salesman across the nation in that company like 2 months straight, and I was killing it. And my brain stretched; it could never go back to hourly or thinking like that. I just saw there was so much more. And one of my solar clients told me that I should check out real estate because of my rapport and everything. And I dove into it and haven't left ever since. Door knocking, people, talking to people. It's nothing to me because my father was a Jehovah Witness. So when I would go to Richmond with him, he would have me knocking doors at like 6, 7 years old. I would go knock doors and try to sell God.
Oh,
So
wow. So you got, yeah, young, got introduced young to, going at, yeah, I never thought about that. That is training, when you see the, Jehovah's Witness and everybody out there, they are kind of training future entrepreneurs. They just don't realize it. You know what I mean?
pretty much, man.
Yeah.
There's no other person that gets as many doors slammed in their face
Right.
and objections and no's than Jehovah's Witnesses. I'll tell you that.
Then you got people like me that got a sign on the door. I got it from Amazon that says no soliciting, no sales, no religion, no, everything is on there.
There you
So they
go.
cut back away. So you got into real estate, and what year was that?
Um, that was I think 20, either 18 or 19.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: did you pass the test the first time?
So that story is funny. So I play basketball. I was in an adult league. I spent my whole weekend. I bought the crash course. I was studying it all weekend. I told myself Monday I'm gonna go 2 hours early. I'm gonna study for an hour and take a nap for an hour, and I'm gonna go in there ready. I did that. Got inside. Did not have my ID on me. My ID was in my basketball bag in at my house in my garage. I had to drive all the way from Arden back home to Elk Grove with traffic,
Oh no.
get my ID. I came back and how long is that test? 2 hours,
Yeah,
right?
about two and a half.
I only had about an hour and 20 minutes to take it when I got back.
Oh my goodness.
So I learned how to take tests a while back. So I just implemented what I was taught, pass the first time.
I passed the second time. Mhm. uh, our fellow how do we say it? team member, Fatima. Hey, Fatima. Thanks for watching, girlfriend. She up there watching us and stuff.
Okay,
Uh,
hello, hello.
yeah. So okay, so you pass it the first time. He wasn't like me. It took me twice. See, back in days when I took it, we had to wait a few days. You guys find out right away. We had to
Yeah,
wait. So that was
yeah.
back in 2002, 2001,
Hey, how
2002.
many times you take it and pass does not matter because there's
I
people
know,
that are killing it that took 3 or 4 times, So hey, I
right,
respect anybody that passes however many times it takes for sure.
right. Oh man. So you got into real estate. Now you now a lot of people are asking about the NACA program, right?
Yes.
Um, and it happened, see, I got worse. I was talking to you, and you was like, leader, I've closed some NACA deals and stuff. So can you break down the whole process from the beginning to the end on how somebody, about the whole NACA one, what they need and what they need to do?
Okay, so first and foremost, in order to be a NACA client, it takes a lot of steps, a lot of dedication, a lot of discipline, but it's worth it in the end because they do teach you money management. They teach you how to be disciplined with your money. They want to put you in the best situation that you can be when entering into a. They don't want you getting into a and then you losing that home. They try to they put you through the work in order to get the home, but it's worth it. And the first thing that you do is you attend a workshop. You can do it online. It used to just be in person, but you can access it online and watch it online. That's a very first step. Then after that, they'll put you with a NACA counselor. Counselor is just another word for lender, basically.
Okay.
So that lender is your go-to, your guide, your coach, your therapist, your everything. Dad, your mom. That
Mhm.
counselor is all the above because they're going to be on your line, checking your finances, checking what you're doing every single month, period, point blank. So first step is to signing up for the website. I mean, for the workshop on NACA's website, and you can go in person. But
Wait one
online
second.
too. Okay.
Michelle, you're not late. We just started. We was late. So you good. You here in the very beginning. You're good, girl. So go ahead. She's like,
No
sorry, I'm late.
problem. So I have my notes here too, so I'm gonna read them too
Okay,
sometimes.
cool.
But basically when you go to the workshop, it's gonna cover how to prepare for your housing search, identify suitable properties, get credit access, and submit your mortgage application. So you're gonna have to submit an application so they can see where you're currently at. And then basically you're going to access post-purchase support. So they're going to give you support after you purchase too. So usually, when you purchase a home, you're kind of left in the wind to figure
Mhm.
things out after that. NACA stays with you, counseling you after you purchase your home too. So they have a lot of support.
What kind of
Um,
score do you need though? What is there a certain credit score they're looking for?
so I'm gonna tell you this right now. Ain't no credit scores needed.
What do you mean for knocking no credit scores needed?
I mean, you don't need credit. You need a
Wow.
credit score. Your credit score can be the lowest 300.
You said two.
Yeah, it's not that low. But 300. You could have a 300. They don't qualify you based on credit. So what you do need is stability. You need to show that you are stable. You need to show that you're responsible and that you have an influx of money coming in, right? So that you can afford your home. Biggest thing with them is they want to make sure you can keep your home, purchase it, right? If you
Mhm.
have enough money, sometimes people's credit scores don't reflect their how much money they make,
Yeah.
right? And their affordability. But so that they take that into account. So we'll need to show 2 years basically of on-time payments, stable income, right? So if you have utility bills, rent, just show 2 years of stable income from job, etc. You can't have for credit history, your score doesn't matter, but you cannot have any open judgments or liens. No collections in the last 2 years. So you can work with a credit specialist to remove collections if you need, right? So it's
Mhm.
not on there. No foreclosures, short sales, or Chapter 7 bankruptcies in the last 2 years.
Two
Right? No,
years? Okay.
yeah, 2 years, 2 years.
Okay.
Um, Housing history, 12 months of on-time rent payments will qualify you. So you just have to show that you've been living somewhere and you've been making your payments on time. Um, so financial readiness. So basically, there's what's called a payment shock. So a payment shock is how much money you need to save every month to show that you can afford a mortgage payment, right? So let's say your rent is currently 1,700 and they run everything and they find that you can have a mortgage that's 2,300 a month. You
Mm-hmm.
need to show that you're able to save the difference every single month for while you're in the NACA program. So 17 minus 23 minus 17 is 600. So you need to save an extra $600 a month to show that when it's time for you to purchase, you're not going to be overextending yourself. You know,
Okay.
you can still make that payment. And then when you do purchase, you're required to have homeowners insurance, prepaid taxes and insurance, escrow reserves, and then you'll have to pay for your own inspections. Outside of that, there's no closing costs with NACA. There's no down payment with NACA, and there's no PMI.
Oh, no PMI either.
No PMI either. So NACA is a nonprofit. It's its own entity, right? And they partnered with Bank of America for this program that they have with their nonprofit. So their lender is Bank of America, but the actual company is NACA.
Okay, so okay, you know how FHA, right? Is 3.5% that the people still have to come in with. Then so you're saying that the NACA, they don't have to come in with no 3% or any of the closing costs, or
Nope.
okay, but I do want to clarify, you guys. Hey, sis, Crystal. Um, I do want to clarify. You guys, listen to this. Whenever you hear someone say no down payment, NACA, lender, anything, you still have to have your earnest money deposit. Okay.
Yes, I was
You
getting
know,
there.
yeah, so
Yes.
do not, a lot of people think, why did they got to put nothing down? Because they said no down. No, you still got to come in. When we put in the offer, you have to, we'll go over, we'll give like suggestions of what, we think you should put, but it's all up to you in the end. But you do have to agree to have something entitled in 3 days after your offer is accepted. You do have to pay for, like he said, for your inspections. That's your home inspection, your pest inspection. And most of Sacramento, making most of my clients get a sewer inspection because the way these pipes are right now, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
most home inspectors do the roof inspections too. And if there's a pool inspection and stuff. So yes, you're gonna have to come out of pocket a little. What I want to ask you, Keelan, is what about the DTI? So is the DTI tighter with NACA than the other programs?
So I think it's 40%.
Okay.
Yep, 40%.
So it is a little bit more tighter.
It is a little tighter because they are tighter. I mean, I know it's a little strict, but they're trying to put people in the best position. They don't want people
Yeah.
house poor and they don't want foreclosures. So they make sure to set these qualifications, set these standards that people need to meet. But if you when you get qualified with NACA, you are one of the most qualified buyers out on the market. Because also I didn't get to mention that yes, you do need your earnest money deposit, but as I said, NACA is making you save from the start. So you have reserves in place for that earnest money deposit and inspections. You know, they're making you save and they're monitoring your savings every you're spending more, they're gonna say, hey, are you spending this much? It's putting you below where we need you to be. So you need to make up for that in next months, you know? But NACA is partnered with Bank of America and their loan is conventional. So it's a conventional loan. So, you know, conventional is better than FHA in regards to strength, you know. So when a seller is looking at your offer, you can state that yes, I have a conventional loan. And NACA, I always send my NACA qualification letter, the
Mhm.
offers. And I send some details on NACA because like I said, if you get qualified and get approved, NACA, you are going to close. You They're going to close, no questions
How
asked.
many days are closed to close now? Because
All
NACA
right.
used to be a while back in days.
All right. Here's pros and
Oh,
cons,
he's
right?
small. Oh,
Pros
Lord.
and cons, pros and cons. So if everything in the home is fine, then I would say like let's just say 45 days. It's a little
Mm,
longer, but everything in the house is fine. 35 to 45 days. Okay.
okay.
There's issues during the inspections. That's when we go into NACA, the things you've heard about NACA when it comes to repairs and contractors. It could take anywhere from 45 to 60 plus, depending on if there's a lot of work that needs to be done in that home. But some
Mm,
people are okay with that because with some NACA projects, people want uh, the dilapidated homes, dilapidated properties, right? And they want to utilize NACA, the program, to fix up that home. So they're okay with waiting long. For some individuals, they want to get on the home a lot quicker. So it just depends on your inspections, how long that takes.
okay, let me kind of go back now, kind of a little bit lost. So the inspections, the seller has to pay for it, or are you saying that people can go through the NACA program and get like a renovated home or something like the inspection done, or the seller still got to pay for it before it could close?
So it's all negotiations. So you
Mm,
still get closing costs from the seller. I think with NACA, the seller, you can get up to 10% of the concessions from the seller.
mm,
Um, NACA, they allow that. And with NACA, when you're purchasing a property, you can utilize the concessions to cover some of the repairs as normal, right? NACA will also give you what's called a rehab loan. So you can get a loan on top of the loan on top of your home loan embedded in one with NACA. So there's a property that needs a whole bunch of work. They will give you a loan on top of that as long as you can afford it, right? Whenever they add it up and your payment comes,
mhm,
as long as you can afford it, you can have a rehab loan on top of top of the property.
mm. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, do you have to use their home inspector? Or can you use any home inspector?
So home inspectors, you do have to use a NACA qualified home inspector.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
NACA qualified home inspector. Contractors, they do not need to be NACA qualified. Hold on, let me get to the steps real quick first
Okay.
because it is a kind of a, if I say it out of order, it won't make sense, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to go in order when it comes to the inspection process. I haven't even talked about the interest rates with NACA because they're great, but I'm gonna do this first since we're on this topic.
Okay.
So just per usual, you get your inspections done on the home, right? The reports come back. You see those reports. You see what needs to be fixed. So with NACA, there's a department called the hand department. That acronym, I'm sorry, I don't remember it fully right now
That's
to
okay.
say, but
Uh-huh.
just know it's called the hand department. They oversee all the inspections, repairs, the rehabilitation, anything dealing with repairs on the property and improvements. That's what they deal with. So they will review the inspection report. They will list what you need to fix on the property in order to close, and then they will have recommended repairs on the property. When they send you that list of how much it's going to cost to repair everything, it's
Mm,
as if everything is brand new, completely replaced, right?
mm,
So it could be a doorknob. A doorknob is kind of shaky a little bit. They're not going to say, hey, just one screw would help that out.
mm.
$10. They're gonna say you need a whole new doorknob. That had to be 150. They're gonna give you the max
Yeah,
of how
yeah.
much everything costs, right? You're then gonna take their document and you're gonna white out all of the prices. You're gonna call a contractor to then come and review everything that needs to be fixed, right? Without knowing the prices, because you don't want to do that. That's just
Yeah,
game
yeah,
right
yeah.
there. They don't need to know how much.
Yeah.
So they'll take that, they'll give you their estimate of how much it costs to fix everything, then submit that back to hand. And then that is a number that they will use in order to determine how much the repairs are going to cost on that property or how much your loan will. And in some cases on those properties, let's say you just look at the inspection report and the recommended repairs, but then you see the kitchen has tile on the countertops, right? And maybe you want granite. You could throw that in there too,
Oh, wow. Not that I
right?
came up.
You could throw that in there. It will be a part of the rehabilitation loan that you have to pay.
Mm,
So, but that's that process right there, and that's what could take a long time because
yeah.
once the contractor does come and close on the house, so a couple of things. So if you embed the repairs into the loan, you can close on the home, right, and move
Mm,
forward. You can waive having to fix it
mm,
beforehand. I would never do a request for repairs to have the sellers fix it because you would not be able to close on the property.
yeah.
Escrow would not allow it. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
So you just need to get credits and you can apply those credits towards closing costs, which you don't have already. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can apply that towards the rehabilitation to lower those costs too, or your monthly payment. And then once that's completed and you waive that, after you close on the property, the contractor comes out and starts to get the work. And if you do have repairs that are needed, they you don't have to make any payments,
Mm.
mortgage payments too, for 6 months.
Oh, for wow. Wow. Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
My
Okay.
client right now has been putting in work on his property after he closed. The contractor coming out doing everything on the invoice, on the estimates, and he doesn't have to pay payments for 6 months.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's worth it. It's a journey, but it's worth it. It's
Okay.
worth it. And as far as the properties that you can purchase single families, townhouses, condos, multi-families.
Mm,
Property that I just closed on, we closed for 950, was listed at a million something. Then it was listed at 975. I got it all the way down to 950 for them because it was just sitting there.
yeah.
And it has 3 units on it, and it has 4 storage units on the property with parking lines in the back. So it's like a
What?
gigantic property in Natomas, North Natomas, near the Costco.
Really?
950 he got it for with a low, and also with NACA, you get the lowest interest rate on the market, below market value.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
If you meet the income, like if you're lower income, you
Mm-hmm.
get below market value, like the lowest interest rate on the market. And once you pay, let's see, I have it in my notes here. Let's see. I think if you pay 1.5%, I need to look that up for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you pay a certain percent down on your mortgage on your
Uh-huh.
property,
Uh-huh.
your interest rate decreases by 0.5%, period. So if you had a 3.75 and you pay down, let's
It's
say
like
a
a
hundred
buy down.
thousand,
A buy
yeah,
down?
huh? Kind of, but it's
Okay.
not technically a buy down because you're just paying your mortgage.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
if you pay it down, let's say you have a $100,000 property, 5% was that 1,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pay that off. Now instead of a 3.75%, now you have a 3.5, period.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Now I'm thinking different about NACA. Okay.
I'm telling you, it's pretty cool. But here's what you do need to know. Okay,
Mhm.
I'll say this. All right. So you cannot own another property
Oh
while you
yeah.
purchase a NACA. You have to live in that property. It has to be owner occupied.
No
Um,
occupancy fraud, y'all. No occupancy fraud.
yeah, no, no. So you have to occupy it. There is a $25,000 security lien that lasts for 5 years on that property.
Oh, $25,000?
Yes, every year it decreases by five.
Mm.
You have to stay in it 5 years, and then if you decide to sell, you get all that equity. Let's say you decide to sell one year left, then you owe NACA 5,000
Oh,
security.
wow.
But people average 5 years in homes anyway, so that's not a big deal. And then you do have to volunteer with NACA. You could put signs in the front yard, go to one of their events, and give a review, talk about NACA. There's different ways that you can volunteer. Um,
Mm.
you can, you have to register to vote to qualify for NACA. So you have to be a registered voter.
No.
Um,
Okay.
and
Wow.
then you have to join the NACA Action Committee. So it's a committee that NACA has for their clients to support NACA. Basically, you have to be a NACA advocate.
Well, if they do all that, I don't, that's good though. This shouldn't be an issue for anybody to do that, you know?
No issues, no
And what if
issues.
somebody doesn't do it? Or do they kind of foreclose on the home or?
So I haven't, I haven't gotten there yet. I don't know
Yeah.
about that. I'm sure there's some warnings in place or something in place to kind of give you a nudge. But I don't think they would foreclose on all. Not.
Now, for the realtors on the line, like, Fatima, um, how are are they still looking for agents to become NACA or
So in order to become a NACA referral agent, you need to close at least 2 deals minimum.
how much?
Two.
Oh, 2 deals. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
with
And
two NACA deals minimum or
two
do you have
NACA
to,
deals with
okay.
them. So you have to bring in your own people, at least
Oh,
two.
you got to bring in your own leads.
Yes, at least two, and then you're qualified to become a NACA referral agent, which means that they will start sending you people,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then they take their percentage off the top, because it's their lead base, their lead source. But you can always bring anybody into NACA, and there's no charge. No,
Now, I remember years ago, the lady who got me into real estate, Rachel Poole, we drove down to Oakland. And does realtors still have to take like a class?
so yes, so there's what's called the red training.
Hmm.
That's for the realtors. So that's where I got my notes from. I would highly suggest it if you were an agent looking to get into NACA. It's no cost. Excuse me. You can go online and
Hmm.
take it. I think it's on Tuesdays, but I can send you that information afterwards.
Yeah, but just in case, people were, wondering, they could look it up too. They could go
Yeah,
with
yeah.
NACA, was it NACA.org or something?
You go to NACA, I have it right here. So NACA is it's NACA.com,
Hmm.
and you can go there and you go to, I'm gonna just do it on my end so I can tell you exactly.
Okay. Um,
So,
Thank you so much. And actually, Michelle, she's in my hometown, Seaside. But she's talking about moving out this way, but she said this information was very useful. So,
all love. I'm glad I can help. Glad I can help for sure.
and you guys,
So,
I'm not a NACA agent, so this is my business partner. So, I will, until I become a NACA agent, if I become one again, I'm going to go through him.
for sure, all love.
Send you
But
guys to him and everything. So,
so when you go to NACA.com, and go to more on the website, and it says real estate department. Once you get to real estate department, you scroll down. There's a seller's guidebook. There's an agent participant guidebook. And then you can basically all the resources are right here. It'll tell you about the red training on here. You can just go through that, read the manual, read what you need to do. And they have the same thing for buyers too. So if you're a buyer interested in purchasing, there's a qualification work that you can take a look at, and it'll tell you everything from top to bottom.
okay. But if you do that, but still call Keelan.
Yeah, call me, because all I would need, basically when you register to go to training,
Mhm.
if you're a buyer workshop, it would ask you if you have an agent, and just put your agent's name down there. Simple as that. I would then have to everything that so for an agent on the agent side of things, they have what's called the NACA portal. Buyers have a NACA portal. That's where all the communication goes. That's where all their documents are sent, right? So if you want to represent a client in NACA, you have to make sure when they go to the first workshop, similar to new builds, right?
Mhm.
They go to the workshop, put your name, your name as an agent, right? Go to the workshop, and then after that, you'll get notified that they completed, like that they sent in their documents. You'll create your own agent portal separate from theirs. So anything that you submit, whether it's inspection reports, whether it's like contract offers, offers for properties, um, your BCR, your buyer representation agreement, right?
Mhm.
All of that goes into the agent portal so that the counselor can see right in front of their face, and review all the documents that you sent. So it's all entered into a system. So
Okay.
it's sometimes it is hard for communication because you have to reach out to a counselor. But if you get a good counselor, you're all good. I've seen both. I've seen counselors that are very communicative. They get back to you quick. They're knowledgeable. Then I've seen counselors that literally I had a counselor tell me on this last deal for 950, he was having some issues. He was trying to get his 401k, like utilize his 401k for the property. And she was looking at the property and said it was out of his wasn't qualified to purchase that property. It was out of his purchase price, basically.
Mhm.
And due to certain things. And I had to go in, I had to figure out how we can utilize it. I did my research. I told him, no, you need to tell her this. She was basically saying, she she doesn't even know why he wanted to look at this property. She doesn't even know why he submitted an offer on this property. She knew he wasn't gonna qualify and get it. And guess what? Put in the work and we got that property.
See,
She was
see,
silenced.
see. Can you switch counselors can they switch if they're not vibing with them? Okay. So
Yes.
I do want to ask this question. So what's the longest you've seen the process before you was able to actually go start, you got that approval letter?
For me, the clients that I got from NACA, they were already in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So they just reached out to me. I didn't know they were in the program. I actually got introduced to NACA through them.
Mm-hmm.
So they came to me and then I came on as their agent. So I didn't get to see the length of the process and all the steps it took initially for them, but they told me took some time. It just depends how ready you are. So some have had it 6 months it's taken. Some have had it some it's been a year,
Mm-hmm.
some it's been 3 months. It's gonna take a little bit of time. I would say just expect it to take 3 to 6 months at minimum because they need to see a payment shock. They need to see that you can save money every single month. So it's a process.
Mm-hmm. Now,
We
what about a lot of issues now is the student loans. So are you finding, I mean, you know, how's NACA like, because they do the DTI, right? Well,
they do
so
that.
DTI, you guys is debt to income. So if whatever you bring in is versus what's going out. So if you have a high car payment and they do count student, even if your student loan is in default, the lender usually still has to count that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's been knocking a lot of people out of buying a house. Is knocking any different?
NACA is not different as far as DTI goes. So
Okay.
that is something that you would have to look to know, and I'll get more research on that too. But from my understanding, count student loans. Just because it's finances, it's a monthly payment. That's basically what they base. They don't base it off credit, base it off their
Yeah.
payments. Their expenses. But in regards to on that topic, as far as like student loans and credit and everything, I would say before going to NACA, if you do have any collections or anything, go to somebody and get those off. Because let's say you have a couple collections on your, but everything else is good. Get those two knocked off, you'll be able to qualify for NACA. Finances are there, etc. So check on your credit, your 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 credit report, not necessarily your score, your report for checking in the NACA. Some counselors are good enough to, just like lenders, to review your report and tell you what needs to get taken off, take you through those steps too.
Okay. Now, is there a certain amount of like a max of income? Because they can make too much and not be qualified for NACA, right?
No, so there is no max income. There is no
Oh,
max income, but there's
okay.
max it goes off of the area. So the median income of the area. So sometimes if you are over the median income, then you can't buy in certain areas that you're looking at.
Mhm.
It just depends, but there is no cap. You can make $300,000 a year, right? You just
Okay.
might not be able to buy in this specific area when it comes to NACA. So we do all that research too. Like the agents, we get an understanding of the income of the area, the income limits and everything. So if you are looking at properties, that'll just be a property that we just don't look at that area, that zip code. We've had that happen.
Now, I know, you mainly do real estate in Sacramento, but can you help other people, especially with the NACA program in other cities?
Yeah. I was actually helping somebody out in Stockton.
Okay.
One of my clients, she She found like a family friend, but she was in Fairfield, Vacaville. I was going to help her out. So it doesn't really matter to me. I'll drive, ready to work. So as long as I can help you out and you're serious too, we're on a mission together, let's do it.
Now you just brought something, another question that to my head. Can two, what if it's a husband and wife or two sisters or anything, can two people be go in and buy a home?
Yeah, they just have to go through the process too.
Okay.
So you could put whoever on it with you. They just have to go through the process as one. So they have to save, they have to qualify, they're in. But I would highly suggest family because like I said, multi-units, even oh my bad, I forgot mixed use too.
Oh, you mean like a hair, you can have a I mean, a salon upstairs and live downstairs?
Yes,
Oh, wow. Not let you do that?
yes, they
Oh, wow.
do. Oh, my bad, I forgot one of the biggest ones. New builds.
Oh, new builds.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
yes. You
That
can
kind of
use
would go hand in hand because new builds take a while to get built anyhow.
they sure do. So
So,
new builds for NACA, then you can utilize
mm,
uh NACA on new builds. Yes.
man,
So
you got me thinking now. Jeez.
telling you, NACA's the I literally look, there was this guy. I called him trying to build rapport. My client was interested in this property. He heard about NACA. A lot of agents, they hear about it and it scares them.
Well, because what we went through in the past with NACA, that's the reason why.
Yes. But look, I was fresh off that red training. I was hitting him with all of it. He was like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, yeah. Man, I'm telling you, any NACA client is more credible and more worthy of not worthy, but they're more capable of closing, like as far as credibility on paper. Like they're going to close, period point blank. It might take a little longer if repairs are needed, right? But they're going to close for
Oh,
sure.
wow.
They have to go through so many hoops and they have to be qualified. Like they have to be able to afford that mortgage payment. And we look for homes that fit into their criteria specifically, like their mortgage payment, their affordability. So there's no questions asked. If you get a NACA client on your table, it might take a little longer, but it's closing. You don't have to be concerned.
What if somebody owns like a business?
Oh, they can use that too. They can use, I think, you see, I have it in my notes. Give me a second.
And then while you're looking for that, is the home buyers workshops for the buyers, is that on the weekends or do they have to take time off of work?
No, it's online. You could do it at your leisure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
1 second.
Hey, Wendy Brown. Oh, Wendy, I ain't seen her in a long time. But look who done popped up. You mentioned knocking everybody coming out of the woodworks. Hey, Wendy.
um, I cannot find it right now, but I know what businesses, I know they just use like your income from your business. I
Okay.
know it's some months, it's not years. You don't need years worth of um income statements, business.
Okay.
Bank statements.
Okay. Okay.
But you can purchase it actually might be in some people's better interest to utilize their business to purchase with NACA. I do think they use your tax statements too, but I need to double check on. I haven't closed one business yet. Business owner. So
Hmm. I may have a couple clients for you now, one here and one in the Bay. So,
I'll get that information for you
okay.
too by the end of this week.
Okay. Now, one last thing. NACA compared to everything else, right? Like the cow heifers and all that. You know, it
I'm
seems like
going
you're very
I'm,
passionate about NACA.
I'm going NACA all day. NACA was made for people.
Okay.
Um Going back into let me see. I think in the history they were big advocates for unfair discrimination for
I think
housing and
so.
everything
I
too.
think so.
Like they were started for workers. Like workers started NACA. So they came up and it just blew up over time. Like, they're really about people. Um,
Okay.
so any every it's killing everything. Like if you can be patient, right, stick the
Mhm.
course,
Mhm.
there's no reason why you can't execute NACA, make it happen. Like I said, no closing costs, no down payment, right? You do need an EMD, you need an earnest money deposit, right? You do need to pay for your inspections. But if you get closing costs, if you get concessions from the seller, that's not coming out of your pocket, right? That's money back in the pot right there.
Yeah.
So there's people that are closing with NACA not paying anything, not paying a dime at the end of the day. So
So they would have to pay some of the closing costs, right?
yeah, there's been situations where they pay some, but the sellers, like I said, up to 10% of concessions can come from sellers, which is
10%.
higher than
Wow.
most. Yeah,
Eesh.
10%
Eesh. Okay. Wow.
of the purchase
Yeah,
price. Yep.
that's
So
different. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Boy,
no
now
problem.
you got me really thinking. I'm tired, but I may jump on that computer and look on the website, you know. But
Yeah, go on the website and check it out for yourself. I've heard too many bad things about NACA. NACA is great. I like how they're so hard on be hard on people so that they know what they're doing. They
what
give
about
you.
refinancing? They don't do the refinancing, do they?
I think you can refinance your loan too,
So
and you
that'd
can
be a good
do.
thing for you, huh?
Yeah, you can do speedy like roads to selling like with 15-year mortgages. They do 2015 too. So if you can
Mm.
afford it, like they can get it quick. You know,
Wow. And how many NACA deals have you closed so far?
I've gotten two done.
Two. Okay. Yeah, and if you done
But
two,
my second one was that threeplex that I had. I could do any knock could do now after that. That was tough. There was so many issues with it. Being with the contractors, having the contractors come out on several occasions. I appreciate the listing agent for working with us. That home was sitting for so long because of the issues that it had too. But we were able to come in with Naka and kind of be a team to get it done. So she was happy just as much. But that deal, I had to go through all the steps. So I'm very aware of what it takes to get a deal done with Naka for sure.
all right. So recap.
So recap, in order to go through NACA, you have to go through a workshop, take it online, right? Meet with your counselor. Counselor will ask for all your documents, check your DTI. Don't need a credit check. You just need to have basically good payment history across the board, right? No collections, etc. Once you meet with her, once you meet with your counselor, you also need to have what's called a payment shock. That's basically need to be able to save a certain amount of money to show them that you can qualify to purchase a home. If it's a big difference, let's say your rent is 17 and then your mortgage payment you qualify for 2,300, they want to see you able to save $600 a month, period. On top of whatever else they ask for. After that's done, you get qualified and start searching for a home. You get you an agent, start searching for find that home, put in an offer, go through your inspections. Once you have your inspections, that then goes to the hand department. Hand department reviews it, sends back your required repairs recommended numbers on them. Take that, blank out those numbers. I repeat, blank out those numbers, then give it to a contractor. They review that, give you an estimate, take it back to the hand department. You can either put that on a loan on top of your home loan, or if you have enough money or enough reserves, you can take care of that yourself afterwards, or you can have the sellers take care of it. I wouldn't suggest it. I always want that work done yourself because you never know what they're gonna do. They
Mm.
use, you know what I'm saying? After that's done, then the home is closed, right? After everything is written, good to go. Inspections, the hand report comes back. That inspection period and the hand department is what takes the longest. Once that's over with, you're done. Close on that property. You don't have any PITI, any private mortgage insurance. You don't have any payments for the next 6 months if you did get that rehab loan. And then you're good to go. They give you counseling and support afterwards, and you just have to make sure you show love to NACA at the end of the day. That's
Now,
pretty much it.
after the close, do they still kind of monitor your finances or you're just up and done?
They don't monitor your finances, but they do give you support. So I don't know what kind of support at this point yet, but you are still in conversations with either your counselor or NACA themselves so that they can facilitate that transition of your ownership to hold your hand through the process still.
Now, I know I said that was the last question, but what about people have, well, you said credit don't even matter, so it don't even matter with credit. Okay. So,
Score doesn't matter.
the credit score doesn't matter. Does
Credit
not,
score
so
doesn't
if
matter.
they, so if they do have collections and stuff on there, does NACA have a like credit repair department or no?
I do not know if they have a credit repair department,
Okay.
but I feel like it would be just like lenders. They could either refer you, you
Mhm,
know, um, not gonna have a counselor and then you have something on your and they just say goodbye. Sorry. They
mhm,
probably they will work with you
mhm.
and guide you through those steps. If you can find somebody outside, if they don't have in-house referrals, which I'm not sure, then you can get that done and keep that process going.
All right. I don't see no questions on here. Yeah, no question. I think everybody's just, you know, enjoying they're appreciative of the information, the time you took out and stuff. Um,
Sure, sure.
and if you guys want to catch this, it is being recorded. All you gotta do is go to YouTube. It'll be uploaded either tonight or in the morning. Sessions with Alita. It will be right there. So if you guys want this recording, just go to YouTube, Sessions with Alita, and it'll be there. So how do people find you?
So you can find me at on Instagram and TikTok at The Conscious Realtor. It's THA and Conscious Realtor.
And how do you come up with that name? You're not gonna ask that.
So I'm big into spirituality and mindfulness and wellness. Um, so that's the name that I thought of. I wanted to be authentic to myself, and what I believe in and how I live my life. So that's what I chose. I actually have another platform called Conscious Assets. That's on think that's just on Instagram right now. I'm still building that, but I've been working with, I've done workshops for financial literacy and mindfulness and wellness. I've done after school programs, assemblies. I
Mhm,
actually was contracted with the El Grove School District to do uh, basically a series of events for
mhm.
them. I've done events curated Heart and Soul, which is a community event showcasing small businesses and local artists, etc. I've done tough conversations, relationship building event, have couples and singles come and speak and try to mitigate all these issues that are going on nowadays. I've done Father's Day events, Mother's Day events, pretty much community events, pretty much everything. So that's a big part of my brand and part of what I believe in is giving back to the community, getting involved with the community too. So
That's awesome. What a better realtor besides me you can have. Right. Oh, so you said the conscious realtor, right?
yep, the conscious realtor. Yep.
Can they look you also up by your name?
Yeah, my name is Kelan Johnson. It's
Mm.
right there, but Kelan Johnson.
You got a website?
On Facebook. I no, not now. I just switched over to Impact Real Estate. Shout out to Kira.
Yes.
I'm
Our
over at
broker,
Impact.
Kiera.
hmm hmm So I'm over there now. So I'm building my website, getting everything together as far as the logistics sides. But yeah, I'm here in Sacramento. Shout out to them. Big impact on.
Okay, cool. All right. Let me check one more time in case anybody wrote anything. Yes. Okay. My favorite bartender, she came in late. Okay, Moni. So yes, you can, I'll send it to you, sis. I'll send it to you. I got your back. I got your back and stuff. So, all right. Appreciate you. Any last words or anything?
Yeah, look into NACA. If you haven't looked into it, it's definitely another option. It's made for the people. So I would look into it. If it doesn't fit you and
Mm,
you're in the process, it'll help you ease that fear of gonna purchase a home. So even if you don't go through NACA, but you test it out and try it out, you'll be ready to purchase for sure. But yeah, I would check out NACA and have faith in yourself. I know the market is kind of crazy. People have all these words and thoughts and ideas about the market. There's no better time to buy than present. No, no
Well,
better
look at
time
me.
to buy.
I have 3 listings. Two's in escrow right now, and
Okay.
I've got one, so it's always a good time, to buy real estate, to buy,
Oh,
sell, and invest in real estate. And,
Always.
I was gonna say this while we both on here, you was talking about the rates and everything. When I first started, the rates were 9%, and everybody's like, well, the economy, yeah, people were making much less, and the rates were 9 and 16% and stuff. So what's gonna happen is everybody's waiting for the rates to go down, right? And then once the rates go down,
Market's
everybody's
gonna
gonna be
go
out there
crazy.
buying.
Prices are.
You could refinance the rate, but you can't refinance the price of a home. And
Can't
that's
do
why what you said about you done changed I'm gonna be honest with you, you changed my whole mind about NACA. You know
it.
what I mean? Because I, as a listing agent, I'm kind of like that other agent. Like, okay, because I call the loan officers. I want to ask questions, and I know back in the days, NACA used to be hard to reach, what they call counselors,
Yeah,
loan
yeah,
officers and stuff. Because, as a listing agent, good listing agents gonna call every lender that they got offers on and ask questions,
sure.
so, lenders need to be available, after 5 and the weekends, and stuff like that. But but no, you changed my mind, bro. You changed.
Telling you, like it's a great program for sure.
Yeah.
But outside of that, much love to everyone. Blessings. Keep your head up.
And one more
Tomorrow.
thing, just one quick plug. Also, for people who own a home, you have a
Oh, I'm the sales director for a landscape construction company, not maintenance, construction. So it's called Landscape Helper. So we do pavers, concrete, turf, lighting, woodwork, anything that you can think of when it comes to trying to make your backyard beautiful, entertainment purposes, your whole front. If you want a low maintenance, we can redo everything, dig up the dirt, all of that, make it look full and help you out. So that's what I do too. So if you are in need of assistance or just want complimentary walkthrough, I'm open time to come help and see what we can do.
yeah, I thought I did a lot, huh? Boy, I think you done list like 10 things that you do. You done beat me.
Not yet, not yet, not yet. I'm working on it. Working.
All right, go enjoy your family and everything, and I will be in touch with you, okay? And
Thank
stuff.
you. I
Like I said, I
appreciate you
think I
for
got
having.
2 people to send you already.
Oh,
So,
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. Anytime I get to share, I'm grateful. So appreciate you too. You have a great night, and everybody else on have a great night as well.
all right, see you later, bro.
I'll see you later.
Bye bye.